Alabama cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry started off this year as cornerback 1 on most media draft boards. In 2022, he led college football with 16 pass breakups and seemed to be in line to be the first cornerback off the board. But some other players have emerged, and even though he's a very solid prospect, I think there are some limitations with Kool-Aid McKinstry's game, and I've got him as cornerback 5, my 27th player overall in the 2024 draft class. A few years ago, I was in school studying engineering, and I just wasn't excited about doing that every day for the rest of my life. And I decided to start this YouTube channel and make the jump to covering sports full time, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. And today's video is sponsored by Southern New Hampshire University's online sports management program, which lets you turn your passion for sports into a degree. Their programs are led by faculty with real-world experience in sports, giving you the unique chance to learn from professionals and graduates, all while building connections in the industry. So if you're wanting to get your foot in the door in the sports world, go to snhu.edu/A to Z sports, also linked in the description, to see if you qualify for SNHU's sports management program. So Kool-Aid McKinstry has been a 3-year starter at Alabama, which is very impressive for a cornerback to come in as a freshman and start for Nick Saban. That speaks to his natural talent and his ability to learn a playbook quickly. Nick Saban's not going to put you in the game if you don't know where you're supposed to be, and at Alabama, he's got options. Like I said, he led college football cornerbacks in 2022 with 16 pass breakups, but this year offenses avoided him. He only got 4 pass breakups in 2023, but his total targets were cut in half. It went from 80 to 39. Most teams just had no interest in going after Kool-Aid McKinstry, and it opened up the opportunity for Terry and Arnold on the other side to establish himself as a first-round pick. When he does get an opportunity to play the ball, he has very coordinated hand usage at the catch point, quick reaction time to mirror the receiver's hands and rake the ball out, but he is someone that goes for pass breakups over interceptions, only 2 interceptions for his career, so not a player that's going to generate a lot of turnovers, at least based on what he's shown. As a 21-year-old, he plays like a seasoned veteran. Cornerback is one of the most volatile positions in football. There's almost no such thing as a high floor prospect at corner, but Kool-Aid McKinstry is someone where it's just hard for me to imagine him being a bad player in the NFL. He played mostly press coverage at Alabama, very patient and composed to the line of scrimmage. He's not biting on the first few initial steps in a receiver's release. He's willing to let them waste time at the line of scrimmage. He's got a smooth lateral shuffle as he mirrors the release and stays over the top. He doesn't click his heels. He doesn't cross his feet. He's just patient, letting the receiver declare his release, and then he makes contact and gets in phase. He isn't very aggressive at the line of scrimmage. He's much more of a soft shoe press corner. There are very few times on tape where you'll see him give an early jam at the line of scrimmage, which is a perfectly fine way to play press coverage, but from the standpoint of evaluating a press corner, you'd like to see them mix their technique up a little bit. But my biggest issue with Kool-Aid McKinstry is that I think he's kind of limited athletically. I would describe him as a solid, well-rounded athlete, but he doesn't have any elite traits. He's listed at 6'1". I think that's kind of generous. He just has okay size, okay quickness. I think he is lacking in recovery speed. He gave up a few deep receptions, but there were a lot more reps where he's getting stacked over the top and just not targeted. It happened a few times with Adonai Mitchell. You saw it in the Texas A&M game and the Ole Miss game. He was getting beat over the top. There's some delay when he transitions out of press coverage and accelerates down the field, and it just takes him a while to reach his top speed, which isn't anything special. In man coverage, he has adequate quickness to stick with route breaks if he's in phase. So if he's got his hand on the receiver and he can anticipate the route break, he usually doesn't allow much separation. But if he's out of phase, he just doesn't have the short area burst to close that space and stick with in-breaking routes. And then his ability to redirect and stick with like a whip route where initially they're stemming inside and then they give a quick break to the sideline, I thought that was also average. There were multiple plays on the goal line where he could have easily given up a touchdown if it was an accurate pass. He's one of the few players that I watched over the summer, and my biggest negative from watching his 2022 tape was sticking with curls and comebacks. He really struggled last year to sink his hips and mirror those routes, but I thought he showed significant significant improvement this year. He's a smart zone coverage cornerback, does a good job passing off switch releases. He's able to diagnose three-man route concepts to the sideline, be in correct position. And then he's a reliable run defender. He keeps contained. He can play off of blocks. For the most part, he's a secure tackler. There were a few times like deep down the field where he would have some out of control tackling attempts, but he's had like 3 to 4 missed tackles every year of his career, so that's not a major problem. So I'd expect Kool-Aid McKinstry to be a late first to early second round pick. I think he's about as high floor, low ceiling of a cornerback prospect as I've ever watched. It would surprise me if he ended up being a top 5 corner, but it would also surprise me if he was a complete bust. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments any NFL draft prospects that you'd like me to cover. And if you want to see my full draft board as an interactive filterable table, I've got that up at A to Z sports.com. The link to that is in the description.